All right. So the first thing I wanted to talk about was creating a following because I think all of us can benefit from learning how to create a following, right? Because we all need more people. Even when you have 20,000, you still need more people, okay? So the goal behind your sort of presence on Instagram is to entertain, to inspire, and to inform. Have you heard this piece before? Melissa McAllister. I heard her talk about it. And so those are three really important things. So the whole time we're talking here, keep those three things in mind: entertain, inspire, and inform, because it kind of goes with everything. Like everything we're talking about, it all fits into one of those three buckets. All right, so how do you create a following of people? Number one, you can do Captivate Cleaner. You can find some sort of other system to do it for you, but you still have to get those people to actually look at your stuff, right? So you may have brought them to your page and they may have liked or not your page, but into your Instagram, and they may have followed you, but that doesn't mean they're truly following you. So when you have 2,000 followers, you want to be getting 100, 200, 300 views on your stories. That's kind of how you can tell if people are actually following you. So like I was listening to somebody who had, I think she said she had 100,000 followers and was getting 25,000 views a day on a story. Okay, so that's about a quarter of your followers. So like I have 2,000 followers, so I should be getting a quarter of 2,000. Half is 1,000, 500 views on my stories. I'm not. So I'm getting somewhere between 45 at the low end to like 350, 400 at the high end. Okay, so those are okay, but the other ones, it's not right? Okay, so you want those people that you bring to your Instagram to actually follow you. So how do you create that following? You post about your life, and not just about Beachbody, because Beachbody is not your life. I'm sure you all know that, but I want to remind you of that. Beachbody is not your life. People aren't going to follow you because you're a Beachbody coach. They're going to follow you because you're Heather Carey, who has really long eyelashes that come up here, and not Heather Carey, Heather Combs, excuse me, that come up to here, and your hair is always super cute, even when it's not. Like right now, you're like, my hair's not cute, but it is. It's super cute. Look, she's like, my hair's not cute, but it is. It's super cute. Yes, it is. So, but that's the thing, like, and so that's why people are going to follow you. Stacy, they're going to be like, dude, she loves motorbikes. And they're going to follow you because of that, because of the things that they like about you. And that's why, like, when you go to look for people to follow, you're kind of saying, are these people like me, right? And maybe in a quick sort of cursory glance sort of thing, but you're still, like, I don't choose to follow somebody who's got a baby in their arms that doesn't look like a grandmother, okay? Because that person's not going to be my demographic. Heather, you would want people that have 2 little kids sitting next to them, because they're going to be your age and in your demographic. So when I'm going through to look for people to follow, it's quick. It's just like think. But like, I don't follow guys. I don't follow people with babies in their arms purposely, because we won't relate to each other. Plus, I don't want creepy guys on my page. So there's that. So the other things you want to post about on not just your stories, but on your wall, what do they call that? Feed, on your feed, is your hobbies, what you think your niche market is. So like, I think part of my niche market is horse people. So I post about horses. I post about kids. I post about my husband. I post about my fitness, because that is a big part of my life. I don't really talk a lot about nutrition on my feed. I talk a little bit about it in my stories, but that's pretty much it. Like, if you go look at my page, that's pretty much all you're going to see. Right now, all I'm talking about is the fact that it's still snowing and I'm pissed. So, but that's because of the horses. Like, there's always, and I post a lot about my dogs and cats, a lot. But I think I attract people who like dogs, and I think that's good, because that's common ground. And people will come and go, oh, I wonder what Kim's cockapoos are doing today, and they might go watch my story because they want to go see how cute my dogs are, not me necessarily. So think about your niche market and post about things that would fit into that and be consistent with it. Like, I'm not going to go out there and post about fashion because look at me, or makeup. Again, look at me. That would be weird. And my followers would be like, what? Like, a girl didn't even wear makeup. Like, what? And and I love Nikki Whitting, for example. I love following her just because I think she's so cute. Do you guys follow her? Well, she's just precious. She's not my demographic, none of that stuff. I just like her style, and not her clothing style necessarily, but she's cute there too. I like the style, the way that she posts on Instagram. I like what she does. I like her stories. I like the cadence that she uses. I like everything about her stories. And so that's why I follow her. But I would never go on and go, you guys, watch me curl my hair because I don't even know how to do that. And then my followers would be like, why is she curling her hair? Like, she's usually walking around in dirt, So you have to be consistent with what your niche market is. So your Stacy posts about kids on occasion. Heather, in about 2 weeks, you're going to start posting about kids. Well, you already do post about kids. But that's going to become a lot more, I'm assuming, real soon. So you don't necessarily want to post all the time about Beachbody, and you want to never mention Beachbody in your feed. In your stories, that's different. But in your feed, you don't want to talk about Beachbody. And I think both of you do a really good job about that. For that, I do. And the key to all of this is being super, super consistent. Posting every day on your feed, posting every day in your stories, and being consistent with who you are. So don't try to be somebody that you're not. Don't go and look at Nikki Whitting's posts and go, okay, I'm going to try to be like her. Because that's not who you are. Be who you are and be super consistent about being who you are. Okay, I'm going to shift now to stories because everybody seems to think that's where the importance is. That's where people are, well, it is. That's where people are learning to trust you, to like you, to know you, that sort of thing is in your stories, not necessarily from your feed. And you can put your feed and your stories together, and I'll talk about that in a second. But this is where you talk about Beachbody. This is where your invites go. This is where your free group information goes. This is where your workout information goes. Like Heather's, the stuff that you've been doing is blowing me away. Like, I love the workout stuff that you've been showing because it's not Beachbody. You're just saying, hey, I'm super pregnant and this is how I move. And these are moves that work when you got a big belly in front of you and you can't breathe. So I like that a lot. And it shows who you are with still being a little curious, like, well, where's she getting this stuff from? It's just good stuff. I really like that. So they're coming into your stories from your profile to get to know you. I mean, like, I feel like I know the people that I follow. I do, even though I don't. But I do feel like I know them because I feel like I get a little snippet of their life every day. And I think that that's what people are looking for. They're looking for a place to escape from their own reality. And they're trying to get to know you. But if you're boring in your stories, they're going to just swipe right on and look for the next person. So what they're trying to do is get away from their own stuff, take a break, disconnect from what's going on in their life, and go be a voyeur on your life. And that's really what's happening. So enjoy it, have fun, giggle, laugh, be goofy if you're a goofy person. Well, both y'all are goofy persons. I know that person's people. I know that about both of you. Y'all are both kind of goofy. And I can see that, Heather, in some of your stuff. Stacy, I don't see your goofiness very much in your, I don't. And you are a goofy person. You're a funny person. And I think people would appreciate that because then they can sit there and laugh with you and get to know you and go, I could sit and talk to her across the table one day or on the phone or on a message, and I think that's really important. So something that we learned was that photos need to come in sequence. So like when you're posting about your day, and I'm really bad about this, I'm not going to lie. Like I post a tiny, tiny bit in the morning. Like I'll post usually a Bible verse. And then right after it, I'll post like a picture of Gonzo with him and his head on top of my head because he sits there every single morning. And then I might post a picture of the book that I'm reading, personal development or whatever book I'm reading in the morning. And then I really won't post all of the rest of my stories till like 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock in the afternoon because I'm just so busy during the day. But from what we're hearing, that's not really the way to do it. So you should be posting throughout your day. And it really, like when I stop to post in the evening, it takes me about 10 minutes to post like 8 stories. Not even 10 minutes. What am I talking about? Not even, like 5 minutes to post like 10 stories. So I post my entire workout, my post-workout picture, usually a post-workout meal, sometimes my Shakeology, something I've done with my kids, so all those things end up being about 10 stories. And it seriously takes me like 5 minutes to post. And I'm like, okay, what is wrong with me? What I've been thinking is that, well, I haven't really taken any pictures throughout the day. I'm done with what I'm going to post after my workout. And so so I'm trying to save it for the evening so people see it at night and then through the next morning because they only stay for 24 hours. But that's not really what Instagram's looking for, and that's not what the algorithm wants you to do. Because you think about how many times a day, this is a question, how many times a day do you go onto Instagram and go see who pops up in your stories right away to look at? Not your stories, but the stories that you would look at. 5 times a day? And if you are posting 5 times, if Heather is posting a new story 5 times a day instead of posting them all at 6 o'clock in the evening, that's that many more times that somebody's going to see your story. It increases the numbers of people that are seeing your story when you post at different times of the day into your stories. Your feed doesn't really matter, but into your stories. So
I'm just not doing cool enough stuff during the day, or I'm too busy to do it. But what are you doing?
Same
Who
here.
Who are you stealing ideas from on what to post during the day?
Yeah, so that's a good question.
That's my issue.
So that's a good questions. So Shay and I talked about this a couple days ago because she's like, my life is so boring. I'm like, it is not boring. Your life is super not boring. She's like, well, it is to me. And I'm like, but I don't think it is to other people. So think about like literally what you're doing every day. Like Heather, I don't know what you're eating, but it looks kind of good. You take a picture of that and you put it on your Instagram story.
Just did.
See? Exactly. That's it. Okay? You take pictures of your lunch. You take pictures of the weather outside. You take pictures of your cute shoes or what you did with your hair. And it takes this long. I mean, seriously, like it takes a split second. You just did it. It takes a split second to post something like that to your stories. So if you had something, did I freeze? Or did Heather freeze? Everybody froze. There we are. Like I'm back. So when you post something, so that's awesome because now that's an evening post. And so if somebody's going to check back in like me, I'm going to go onto Instagram right now and guess who's going to be front and center in my stories? Oh, right. It's you. Number 1 right there. And you were number 1 right there when I checked before we got on the call because you had posted something that I hadn't seen yet. So that's perfect. Oh, look, Shay posted something too. Ha ha. Okay. So everybody stop right now and take a quick screenshot of what we're doing right now. Yeah? Smile. Okay. So after we're done, you're going to go post that. But this is the kind of stuff that you need to be posting like throughout the day. And it sounds like stupid stuff, but that picture of our team having a phone call is a sneak peek into what we're doing as a team. We're getting together as chicks and we're having a conversation and we're masterminding or whatever you want to call it. But people like to see that because they're like, oh, that's what she does. Oh, they get to do that. Like I posted a thing today about Lizzie. Oh, exciting. Yay. She made it on the call. I know because she's had some stuff going on tonight. So I think, and we're talking about stories, Lizzie. Oh, see, she's got stuff going on. Yeah. So so she would post that on her Instagram stories right now. This is what I'm doing right now. And people would be like, that's really freaking cool. You know, that's the kind of stuff. And so I have to retrain my brain to kind of watch my day and take pictures of things as they happen. They might seem boring to us, but then, and hashtag them, you guys. Until you have 25,000 followers, you have to hashtag your stories, because those hashtags end up drawing people in. Like when I post pictures of my dogs, I hashtag them cockapoo. And on those I typically get over 500 views a day. And it's not from my usual followers, it's from the cockapoo people who then come to my page and then go follow me. So that is actually organic follow. That's not me going out and finding them. That's them actually finding me. So hashtag your stories, whatever your workout is, but do you know how to squish them down real small and kind of hide them? So hide your hashtags, squish them down and hide them. Same thing with geotagging. Make sure you're, like, especially Lizzie, because you're all over the place. You know, tag where you are. And but when you hashtag, make sure, unless it's something you want people to see, squish down your hashtags and watch your numbers go up. It's pretty cool. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so this is back to invites. When you're inviting people through your stories, oh, that's so cool, Lizzie. When you're inviting people through your stories, save your invites, reuse them. You don't have to make new stuff every time, because chances are that the majority of people, not exactly, but the majority of people that are seeing your stories in one invite are not going to be the same people that are going to see them a week later or 2 weeks later. So save what works and reuse it. That stuff you can reuse. The powers that be say that polls and questions are really important for engagement and really important for people to get to know you and trust you. I keep forgetting to do it, but people say they're really good. My son Mason last night did like ask me a question thing, and I'm sure he's supposed to be doing his homework, but instead he was answering the questions that were asked to him, and he's got like 500 followers. He had like 22 questions asked last night to him. Like, it was crazy. So great interaction for my son, who doesn't care about any of this, but it was a good lesson for me, because it showed me, oh gosh, okay, well, I need to do that. So polls and questions are really good. There was something that they said or somebody asked, how many stories are you doing a day? And some of these people are doing upwards of 20 a day, which to me is just like, number one, it's a little overwhelming to me. Number two, I don't typically sit there and watch somebody who's got all the little ants across the top. It's just too much. I'm like, kind of move on, you know? So I'm listening to other people talk too, and they're saying anywhere from 7 to 15 stories a day. 7 to 15 posts in your stories, 1 to 2 on your feed, 7 to 15 in your stories. And I typically do that. I'm somewhere around 10 to 12 in my stories. So here's what was interesting to me. So the question was asked, video versus photos. And they say it kind of depends on your people and what your people like and what you end up having more views on. Oh, I have 2 Stacys. And what you end up having more views on. So I think that is important too. But I think the most important thing is to mix it up. And something that was said repeatedly by people is, when you're doing a video, to try to keep it to 3 to 4 pieces. So that's, what is that? 4 is 1 minute total. Okay, so when you're doing a little, like, you're gonna talk, you talk for 1 minute, 4 little things. Have you guys figured out that now when you try to, you can do it, you don't have to use cut story or anything like that anymore. Now Instagram actually breaks it up into 15 seconds for you. So when you push record and you're holding it down and you're talking, it'll break it all up for you. And then you can actually go in and put funny little GIFs or whatever you want to put on it before you post it. So just while you're talking, kind of plan it in your head real quick, do your talk, make sure it's around 3 or 4, and then post it. But then after you do that, the next thing should probably be pictures. And if you want to post another, set of videos again, that's fine. But when you're talking, they say 3 to 4 at a time, because people have to stop what they're doing and listen. Your workouts, that's different because people don't have to listen to that. It can be on mute and everything's fine. But when you're talking, that's what they say, because people just tune out after about 3 or 4. But mix it up, intersperse pictures into that. They also said you can use attention grabbers in your feed to get people to go to your stories. So maybe you post a picture of something that you're talking about in your stories, and you can say, if you want to hear more, go see my stories. And then you bring people over to your stories. And the reason why, again, that you want to do that is because that's how people get to know you. That's how people get to like you. That's how people get to know you, through your stories and hearing your voice and seeing your lifestyle and seeing what is fun about you and what's inspiring about you and what's entertaining about you and what's informative about you, right? How you're helping people. Let's see. Oh yeah, I told you about hashtags, locations, that sort of thing is important. Know your niche. Something else that I thought was a really good idea is when you're doing an invite, like when we have a launch of something, like we just had the launch of Portion Fix. When you're doing something like that, you can put those things in your highlights. So you can have a story and you can, maybe you did 4 or 5 different things about an invite. You can put them in your highlight. And then maybe the next couple of days, you only do one thing about it. So let's say I talked about Ultimate Portion Fix, had like a video that had 4 things in it. I put all those into a highlight. And you guys know how to use highlights, right? Everybody does, right? Yeah, okay. So you put that into a highlight. And then you, the next day, maybe you say, hey, Ultimate Portion Fix, blah, blah, blah. You just do one video or one picture of it. And you say, for more information, go see the highlight. So you don't have to keep repeating all of the invite. You can just have people, you can direct them to the highlight. I thought that was genius. I thought that was a really good idea for when we have things like this where we're launching something big and you want to talk about it a lot, but you don't want to be annoying on your stories, because you don't want to talk about Beachbody all the time on your stories. That's annoying. You want to be talking about your lifestyle, who you are, your hobbies, your job, if it's a cool job. See, they do say polls and questions boost engagement overall, which I think is probably true. Post as you go during the day. Oh, hashtag. So they still say this too. The hashtag blocks in your phone, like in your notes section, if you keep, for a while they were saying that Instagram was trying to go away from using hashtags at all in your feed, and they were actually going to bury some of the hashtag stuff, but they're not doing that. That did not change. So if you have hashtags that work for you, that work for you in your feed, not in your stories necessarily, but in your feed for different pieces of your life, do you guys do that? Do you have like a set of hashtags that you use that work for you? Yeah. And do you have them in a place that's really accessible so you can just copy and paste them and stick them in? Okay, because I think that makes things a lot easier, because when I have to sit there and figure out what hashtag, my brain just goes like blank. I just can't. I can't think. Let's see. Oh, and this was something, and I've heard this before, but I truly believe this. So the difference between Facebook and Instagram, really, Facebook is where you go that's your warm market. That's where you go to talk to people you know. When you need to meet new people and you need to reach out to new people and you need to build more people, that's Instagram. That's your cold market. And I totally believe that. Have you guys felt that, seen that? Like I have for sure. Okay, so that was the notes that I took from, and I listened to it twice. That's the notes that I took, but I wanted y'all to have some time to be able to talk and strategize. And what was I going to tell you? I was going to tell you 2 things too that were unrelated. One of them is that there's a really cool new report in the back office, like super cool, game-changing kind of report. I don't know if you noticed, but if you were getting emails that had the people who were getting BOD that were going to renew, those aren't coming anymore. Did you notice that? You didn't get one for March. The reason why is because there's this new report in the back office. So when you go into your back office next time, it's in the Coach Breaking News thing, like just below where it says what your rank is and all that stuff, your paid rank and all that stuff. Right below it, it's the first thing in there, and there's a 5-minute video to show you how to use it. It's ridiculously easy to use, and it's like a major game changer in terms of keeping up with people and knowing what's going on, what's coming, who's canceled something, that sort of thing. It is amazing. That was one thing I was going to tell you. There was something else. It'll probably come to me, but y'all go ahead and talk if you have questions or unrelated or related at all. Or just be really quiet. I just gave you so much information. You don't know what to do with it. Heather can't breathe. It's good.
Where are you getting when you? Sorry, I have dog hair all over me. Where are you getting when you're using Cleaner for looking for new people to follow? You're just going through the list, and if they don't have a baby and they do have a dog, yes. You don't go.
So I don't use Cleaner that way. The only thing I use Cleaner for is to take people out. So all the people who don't follow me, I don't want to upgrade. All the people who don't follow me, I'm just unfollowing them in Cleaner. Where I'm getting people to follow is I'm going back into my people who, like, into your heart. It's the heart at the bottom of the page in your Instagram on your phone, the little heart guy. So I go to my heart, and then I see all the people that have followed me that day or in the past, whatever, 2 days or whatever it is. And then I go look for people that look like me in that set, like this person here, MKMSCTT. Her name's Melinda. She looks like she's in her late 40s, early 50s. I'm going to click on her followers, and then I'm going to go find the people like Nurse Beth, 34. I'm going to follow her. I'm going to follow Stacy Applewhite because she looks like my age. Alice Jones. I'm just going to follow those people. That's how I find the people to follow. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that's what I do. And like today, or just now before this call, I went and unfollowed about 300 people and then followed about 500 more. And since then I got 2 more followers just in the last 20 minutes, which isn't a lot, which is why I want to try to figure out Captivate, because I think that would make more followers. Where
in the world did you find 500 people to follow?
It wasn't 500, it was more like 300. So I go follow their followers. So for example, that girl that I was just talking about, she had 151 followers. So I'll go through her followers and probably pick maybe 70 of those. And then I'll pick the next person that followed me that day and go look at her followers and follow, And so if you do that with 3 or 4 people, you're up to 500 people. And but there's a limit actually, and it will cut you off. Instagram will cut you off. But it doesn't make Instagram mad. It just says no more for today. And you'll know, because when you hit follow, it'll unclick the minute you click it. It'll just unclick and turn blue again. So you know that that's your max for the day. It's probably not 500, it's probably more like 300. But there's something with Captivate though that allows you to follow more people per day, and I don't know what it is. That's why at some point Stacey's gonna have to teach us how to use Captivate.
Yeah, it depends on if you have the free or the paid. And it does so many, but you can, if you do the paid one, and there's 2 different types of paid ones. There's Pro and there's Cloud. If you use Cloud, it'll actually work when you don't have the app open. If you do Pro, you can only do night mode. So you have to have the app open, and it'll go follow the people that you put in your queue.
Okay. You might need to teach us how to use it. Maybe we'll do that next time. Would you like to know that, Heather? Yeah. Lizzie probably does too. She's got 15 things going on right now. So That might be a useful.
Sorry, that was,
You're
I just
fine.
had to put you guys down and talk to someone.
You're allowed
We're
to
in
do
tech
that.
right now.
You're totally multitasking. It's impressive. We're talking about using an app called Captivate that actually goes and pulls followers into Instagram to you, and builds up your followers very quickly. I know I've heard a couple people talk about the fact that they've gone from 500 to 10,000 in mere months. And that's the goal, is to get to the stupid 10,000 because of the swipe up feature, which is apparently very useful. I'm at about 2,000, a little over 2,000 right now. And it's taken me a long time to get there. I don't have that kind of time to wait. Like if it's going to take me this long, 10,000.
Did you guys talk about Linktree at all?
Mm-mm. Do we need to talk about it too? Well, I use it, but
yeah.
Do y'all use it?
Well,
Yeah.
I do, yeah. Okay. I just didn't know if anybody else used it.
Do you get people clicking on them?
I haven't checked yet. I did it a few weeks ago. I put them all on there.
I have.
You have? I don't think I have. Or maybe I do because it's connected to my Gmail and I never check my Gmail. Maybe that's a problem. Because my link tree is into my Gmail. Okay, so maybe I need to do that. Well, I think maybe the next team call, gosh, it is in my head what I was going to talk to y'all about, and I cannot remember. It keeps flying out. That maybe we spend some time with Stacy going over Captivate, if that's okay with Stacy. Because I think we could all benefit from that, especially if it's doing the work for us. Yay!
Yeah, my numbers are going up.
Okay, well then it's working too, which is nice to hear. Okay, good. Well, let's plan on that then. Shoot, cannot remember. The next free group I had a really good idea for, though. I thought maybe we could do a group about stretching. Not yoga, just stretching, right? And everybody gets to do like 5 or 6 stretches a day. I thought that would be good. No? Anyone? Heather's like, that's boring. You're going to need to stretch next month. Whatever. Gosh, I cannot remember what it was. It's going to drive me nuts. And as soon as we get off the call, I'm going to remember. Okay. I think that was all I had to talk to you guys about. I want you guys to go look at that report, though, because you can pull up I pulled up everybody for the whole year that will renew Beachbody On Demand and put it into an Excel file and printed the darn thing out. So right as we were getting on the call, I was sending out messages to the March people like, hey, your Beachbody On Demand's about to renew. If you want to, we can snag up a bag of Shakeology with that. I need to know because I always say this, I have to do some work on the back end to make it work, but let me know, then I can set up a cart for you with the Shakeology and have it all ready for you by the time your renewal date comes up. So what you do is you go in and you cancel their Beachbody On Demand, you do a live chat, you cancel their Beachbody On Demand, and then you set up a cart for them for their for a challenge pack so that they get, because otherwise they're going to pay $99 for Beachbody On Demand. They could pay $160 and get a bag of Shakeology, which is great for them and for you. Everybody wins. So I was just doing that, and I had somebody message me back while we were talking. So I think that's a really, really valuable resource. So I highly recommend that you guys go watch the little 5-minute video and start fiddling around with it, because I think it's really cool. Anything else that you guys have at all? No?
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
For the customers the customer leads that you're getting, do you have an email that you're sending to them do you want
me to send you a copy of it?
Yes, please.
Okay, that
would be amazing.
I'm going to put it in a group chat, I think, with you guys. I'll put it in the group chat with you guys if somebody who's listening to this call wants it and is after the fact, just let me know. It's a Word document, so I'll just attach the Word document. It's got a lot of stuff in there. It's got about 5 different letters. It's got like if they're free customers, that they didn't purchase anything, if they have a Beachbody on Demand free trial, if they got, there's a free trial plus a 7-day Shakeology thing sometimes you'll see as a customer lead. So I have all those different eventualities in there in that thing so you can see, and it's just all, I just send them an email, I just cut and paste it literally.
Okay.
So, and they don't know you, so you don't really need to reword it if you don't want to, because I would say if it was somebody that you know, you'd want to reword it to make it sound like you, but they don't know you, so you can, it doesn't matter if it sounds like me. Don't sign it down. You know? But I'll do that as soon as we get off. I will go in and send you guys that in an email, in a Facebook message. All right. Thank you for coming. Good to see everybody. We won't have a call next week, but we will the week after. And Stacy will talk, and we'll talk about other things. And I'll remember what I wanted to talk about. All right. Very good. Y'all have a good night.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.